We're going live.
I got it. Hold on.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's time, Dan. I mean, there's only so much we can wait to get the show going.
Yeah, can't make the people wait.
We're back. We're back after 2 weeks of a hiatus for Thanksgiving. We needed to make sure. That's right.
It works. Okay.
And we come to you this evening in celebration of the first place New York Football Giants.
Hey.
That still can't cover the goddamn spread.
Can't cover a spread, under 500, injured starting quarterback, injured starting running back, New York Football Giants first place. That's crazy. 2020, right? Is this not a microcosm of 2020? This is crazy. What a great way to kick off the show. Thanks for the music accompaniment.
Well, all 5 bars of that, but the NFC East really is terrible, and I don't think there is after this weekend there will not most likely be a starting quarterback starting for an NFC East team this weekend, right? I mean, if Peterson, I don't think the Eagles are going to fire Peterson.
They are. They
will, but they're not going to do it today or tomorrow.
No.
They're going to wait until COVID cancels the season and then cancel and then fire him. But you will have backup starting in Dallas. You'll have a backup starting in New York. You'll have a backup who God only knows starting in Washington. And then you've got the Eagles. And I bet you
is that a landline?
What is going on?
Right,
Listen, so, I hear a phone call. My dog's trying to knock over my table. I don't know what's going on.
But I bet you Jalen Hurts starts this weekend for the Eagles.
He might as well. Carson, boy, talk about flash in the pants from the coach to the quarterback for the fucking Eagles. I mean, one good season. Well, Wentz didn't even win the Super Bowl for them.
Well, I mean, you got to give him some credit for getting the team there.
Oh, I guess
he caught a bad break, literally.
Yeah, Doug Peterson is a clown show.
Well, you can't really give a ton of credit to Nick Foles because he won the game, but really, what has he done?
Yeah, no. Listen, sometimes things work out for a game or two. That's all you need. Sometimes. So, Diamond, that's a heck of a hat. I love it. Love the old school Giants word mark.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So our hat games are strong tonight. Mr. Soriano showing off his new do. It looks wonderful.
Yeah, this is 4 weeks grown out from a barber incident I had. The bro that cuts my hair was out sick, and the replacement decided to make me turn into Danny Zabransky with the fucking marine cut.
You definitely have a high and tight going, or something you'd see out of the fucking Paulie on Jersey Shore.
Yeah, no.
Right?
Yeah,
it looks good.
This is it's gonna get.
You gotta get yourself a tan. If you can go hit a tanning bed this week, it'll really round
tan
out
naturally. I just gotta get out in the sun.
Well, I don't know where you're gonna find that until May. What are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking a Belching Beaver peanut butter milk stout.
Oh,
these just go right down. It's like drinking a chocolate milk. Not to digress from the drinks, but Dan, with that hat, did you see that the Giants had their 700th win over the weekend, and how pissed Dave Meggett got that they left him off of the
fuck Dave Meggett
off of the picture? The guy was a legend. He won 2 Super Bowls with them.
I did not see that they won their 700th game, but what do you know? I mean, that's great. I mean, I thought that wasn't going to come until like 2025. So
right,
yeah,
we're ahead of the game.
Diamond, what are you drinking?
Well, I've got some other half in the house.
Oh yes, which one is that? I haven't had that one.
This is the Green Dots. Some people that live in the DMV do send their friends beers, others don't. It's fine, but
I told you to tell me what you want and I'll send it to you.
All right. But we got some.
Yeah, he's great at that.
I haven't. Took the week off, and I wish there was a football game on following our show, but this is the first beer of the week, and it's very, very good.
That's fantastic. So Mike's hard lemonade for Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm drinking Chardonnay because
I thought the Mike's was bad.
I made scampi tonight, man. And so I had to explain this to Matt before the show. I made scampi tonight, and now I have a fucking bottle of Chardonnay that I would never ordinarily drink. So I just gotta do it. Just gotta get rid of it.
Give it to your dogs.
Well, funny enough, if I was able to turn this around, Hank is staring at this bottle like he's ready to frickin' swallow it whole.
Are you wearing heels or flats?
Fuck.
There's a Sopranos joke here, but I'm not drunk enough to say it.
I admit, there's no reason to hide anything from you guys, and I have Chardonnay in my other half fucking glass.
Listen,
So
I love wine. Don't get me wrong. One, I try and stick to red, and two, if I was going to drink white, it wouldn't be in front of you two assholes.
But technically,
it probably would be in front of an asshole.
It would.
All right, can we talk about sports?
That was one of your best things that you've ever had. Just so you know.
Tonight, let me tell you.
Gentlemen, I hope your Thanksgiving was good. I have to ask. I do want to know before we get to sports. What was your best highlighted side dish? You know, we talk about food all the time. What did you do? What was your best one?
Matthew?
Pick one.
Well, I mean, is antipasto a side dish? Is turkey skin a side dish?
Yes, yeah, it counts.
I mean, for me, it starts and ends with stuffing in the bird.
You bird, I know you put it in the bird. I have not. I did not do that. Yeah. So I know.
Totally different.
It's got to be in the bird. I mean, I had to make two different kinds. You know, the bird for me and the non-bird for Mrs. Diamond.
Yeah, it soaks up all the guts. It's great.
So the stuffing was good. My mashed potatoes were good.
Well, do you put the giblets in your in your stuffing?
No, I make. Are you talking me or mush?
Anybody? I don't know anybody.
I don't put them in there. I make a stock with the neck.
Yeah.
And then the day before, and then I baste not only the bird but the stuffing that's sticking out with that.
Yeah.
And
get that
just
croissant. Yeah.
What
do you use as the base for your stuffing?
So I make it's butter, chicken stock, onions, and celery, and then I buy. Excuse me. The supermarket here has a really good bakery, and they sell cube day old bread. And I just season it with poultry seasoning. So it's really basic. Most of the time I will put in Italian sausage out of the casing, brown it, drain it in there. That my sister-in-law started that tradition a long time ago. So you mix that in with that, so you get a little bit of that fennel sausage in there.
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
I did the sausage in my stuffing. I used Wegmans ciabatta bread, and I also threw in a bunch of mushrooms.
Mushrooms, good. Yes, very good.
You have to do the mushrooms. I will say though, the highlight side this year, I made a different kind of mac and cheese. I know it sounds like it's like a Southern Thanksgiving, but listen, I made it with provolone, fresh mozzarella, and pecorino.
Is that? Hold on, keep talking. Are you sure about?
Did it liquefy enough?
I was worried about the mozzarella. But it fucking melted in there. It like melted around everything. It was outrageous. It really was.
By the time it came to carve the bird, I was so drunk. It was amazing that I was able to get the fucking thing off the bump.
You know, but you know, so Thanksgiving was great. The football action. The funniest thing was that the two NFL games were terrible, right?
Awful.
And then I was like, well, what else is there to watch at 7:00 at night except the Utah State? I don't even know who they were playing game, New Mexico, and I put money on it, and that's the only thing I won all weekend. I took Utah State and the over. Both teams are 0-4, and I fucking won $20.
Somebody had to win.
I watched neither NFL game because I've been on such a cold streak that I just put a ton of money into a parlay and didn't watch it and just watched the scores.
See, I had the Lions +7 or -7 rather in the first. No, Texans -7 in the first game, and I was like, all right, great start. So I think we ate at halftime in the second game. I didn't watch a minute of the Dallas game. Walked into the living room,
miss much.
And they were. I mean, when we ate, right? It was like what 17-14. When I walked into the living room, it was 41-17. I was like, what the hell just happened? How is Dallas that fucking bad?
Oh, they are
really, really bad. Really bad.
Which is why, ipso facto, the New York Football Giants
are in first place. Speaking of drinks, Thomas, a whiskey sour, classic beverage. But I would challenge you to make your sour yourself. Right? Step away from the mix. Look up a sour recipe. Use the eggs. Fucking go for it. No, Dan? What's the matter?
Who gives a fuck? Drink beer. You know what? All you need is a bottle of whiskey, some ice cream, and a glass.
Just drink your whiskey straight.
Yeah, I mean, I like sour mix.
Make it an old fashioned if you want.
Some people don't really, they don't have time to sit around. They just got to get straight to the hard shit.
Go for it. Let's do it.
I don't, I don't care.
So with the New York Football Giants in first place, there's still questions. We don't know if Daniel Jones can play this week. I don't really think he practiced today. He did some drills.
Yeah, they said he looked good though.
I don't think you play. I mean, if it's,
it's Seattle away. Why, put McCoy out there and see what happens. Take the loss.
Seattle does look bad though. They got trouble with Philly.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I don't know who are they going to put on Metcalf. That's what it boils down to, right? And if they put Bradbury on Metcalf, then he's probably got 6 inches on him. And I mean, the revelation. It's those Alabama guys, I mean, the revelation of the defense this year is really in the last 4 or 5 games is how good Blake Martinez has become at linebacker. And if they the Seahawks do not have a running game beyond real, I mean, Chris Carson's okay. Like Philly doesn't have a run defense, as witnessed by Wayne Gallman 2 weeks ago, right? Running roughshod over that defense, but. I mean, look, anything goes right now, and the season is on the it's on the seesaw right now, and the NFL will do anything they can to ensure that the season goes forward. I mean, they made the 49ers move to fucking Arizona.
Well, they pushed this game in yesterday that really should have went to week 18.
But I don't know, because if that game weren't in the division, they might have done that. But that was a division game and a rivalry game
that affects the bye week too.
And then NBC ended up fucking themselves because they had the evening primetime blocked off for the tree lighting, right? And they had to start the game at 3:40. I mean, granted, no one in Pittsburgh has a job, but I mean, maybe in Baltimore too. They're like, yeah, whatever, It's like they'll show it down at the UI office. That's mean, but. I mean, people I get used to Wednesday football. What? I mean, it's like action, except it's the NFL. So
right, and so we have to embrace anything like that still can happen. But so the Giants, the 2 things I would say, you were talking about Blake Martinez. The 2 things I would say, the Giants' defense has looked very good, especially the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I know it was the Bengals, but they look very good, and I'll say the offensive line
has come around.
Also come around fundamentally, and Daniel Jones and Colt McCoy had a lot of time on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think you have Xavier McKinney's in the lineup now, so maybe you put him on Metcalf, a little Alabama action there. And, let's see what happens. I mean, at this rate, anything goes. I don't even know who the Eagles and everybody else is playing this weekend, so theoretically they own the tiebreaker, right, with the Redskins because they beat those, whatever they're called. They beat them twice. So I say go out there, and if you can't start, I mean, I would not start Jones either way. I would make the call. If I were Joe Judge, I would make the call right now and say that Colt McCoy is our starter. They didn't go out and get anybody, right? They didn't go out on the open market. They didn't bring anybody in.
I thought they didn't actually bring Tanny in.
No.
They didn't sign him. Alex Tanny.
No, because they have a third stringer.
They don't.
Yes, they do, don't they? Or what?
No, they do not. They brought two
ran
guys
over a
in.
Weehawken cop.
They brought two guys in for tryout or
Oh,
kind of whatever.
Stanton, right? Drew Stanton was the other one.
They don't really have anyone, so I think
I have no objection to giving Colt McCoy the ball.
No. I mean, I don't want Jones to get hurt further, snap the hamstring, be out for the last. Stretch and possibly playoffs.
For most people,
playoffs.
For most people, this is the last week of their regular fantasy season.
And don't even
note how many points did Darius Slayton have in last Sunday's game without Danny Dimes in the game?
Yeah, I saw that because I beat you.
0.
By the way, speaking of Slayton, Shepard, and all of a sudden Ingram. These are legitimate wide receivers. Jones gets time. I'm comfortable with the Giants wide receivers. The receivers.
That's not the problem.
No.
Speaking of the playoffs, the Giants are currently plus 3,800 to win the NFC.
To win the NFC.
What's the NFC East odds?
My bookie does not have any action on that. I'm sorry. My legal betting.
I was going to say. Your entertainment and information purpose only.
Yes, sorry. This is purely the Google says it does not have that. The Giants are also plus 8,000 to win the Super Bowl.
Oh.
So, hey, listen, throw $10 on it.
About plus 200 for the NFC East.
Well, who are the favorites right now to win the Super Bowl? Let's see.
Kansas City's plus 205.
Pittsburgh.
The Steelers are plus 450.
I would take that. That's a good bet.
I think the Seahawks started the season strong. I'm not really sure about it now. Tampa, the same thing. As the Saints without Drew Brees, that's going to be a tough call. Although Taysom Hill, man, he's an interesting guy. But Tom Brady can't get the ball to Mike Evans anymore, even though Evans had 2 touchdowns over the weekend.
Now the Bucs' problem is their coach.
Even Chiefs at plus 205 will get you a nice little payday.
Yeah. But that you take the favorite. But then again, back-to-back Super Bowls are very hard to come by.
They are, but really, who is the NFC bringing to the table?
It's going to be somebody that comes out of nowhere. And don't forget, I know it's the AFC, but the Browns are 7-2.
The Packers are 8-3.
Or 8-2, or 9-2, whatever they are. They're something in 2. The Packers, the Packers are so boring.
Browns are 8-3. Packers are boring. Browns are 8-3. That's crazy. I think Baltimore is shot at 6-5. Vegas isn't that great. Buffalo's not that great. Allen kind of sucks.
Where is the Super Bowl this year?
Fucking matter. It's a good question.
They're gonna play it on the moon.
The Titans. I mean, we keep on talking how they're not as good as their record. They're not as good as their record. They just keep winning football games because Derrick Henry is a fucking animal, right?
But again, this is what we keep saying. It's like, Derrick Henry really dropped out of nowhere. It's like, no, the kid has been.
But nobody can stop him, and you would think if you did, they would struggle. But
they beat the Colts over the weekend, right?
Yeah, they've won 2 in a row. They're 8-3.
Super Bowl's in Tampa.
Oh.
And there's limited fans, I believe.
Well, there's no fucking laws in Florida.
I was going to say, I bet you the mods will be open.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. The Rams are Goff sucks.
What?
Jeff Goff.
Jared Goff.
Jared.
Yeah, he sucks. They're 7-4.
What about the Bills?
Allen's not that great. He makes some curious decisions.
I don't know. I mean, beat Cole Beasley. That guy is a reliable white slot receiver. I guess we're talking about the NFC though.
But Buffalo may not even win the division. I mean, Miami is 1 game behind
Miami, give me a break. I mean, I think
Miami's better than Buffalo.
If I were the Giants, like I said, I would look beyond this week and look towards the Arizona game. And I think that game is at MetLife, and that will be a bellwether game to see if the Giants are for real or not.
Yep, it's gonna be a hard game, but it's winnable.
But again, that's what I mean by you're probably not gonna beat Seattle. away. I have been, granted the stadium was full. I have been to CenturyLink for a Giants game where the Giants hung around for a quarter and a half, and then Russ just took the game over. That was with a different receiving core and with a running back named Marshawn Lynch.
Ombudsman moment. There's been a name change. It's now Lumen Field.
Yeah, whatever. Ombudsman moment. The big stadium in Seattle. And it's great because the game starts like at 1:00.
Yeah.
Even though, you're like in the bar by 4:00.
I'll say this, and I know the travel, but I'll say no fans, and plus Seattle's defense is suspect at best.
Any given Sunday.
I agree with everything you're saying. All I'm saying is I will sit down and watch this game and say, you know what? I don't think that 10-point spread is happening.
That's a short week for Seattle.
10 is aggressive. I think 10's aggressive. Yeah.
I mean, when the Giants are dogs, they've been able to prevent the other team from covering. This had to be the first game this season that they were favored, right? This weekend, and they couldn't cover 6 points.
I think they were against Washington too.
Oh, well, maybe 3 points, but they covered against Washington, right?
Yeah.
The second time.
Yeah.
But when they're favored, I just get nervous. And if it's 10 points, I mean, they're not favored obviously this weekend, but I mean, 10 points in Seattle, making the trip west. I don't know. I mean, I bet you that comes down to like 8.5.
Well, it went up because of the injury to Jones. I think it was around that area, and that when Jones was hurt, it opened higher.
And to the point, with Jones out of the game, the key is if Gallman can get going, and if McCoy can find Slayton.
Yeah.
I mean, if Tate can, I don't. The Seattle secondary isn't great, but these guys, Shepard. One of them, Shepard needs to either get Slayton open or Slayton needs to get Shepard open, and running checkdowns to Dion Lewis or to Evan Ingram, that's only going to get you so far against a big front four. So that's the key. Is if Gallman can, if Gallman goes over 100 yards, maybe the Giants beat the spread and win the game. I don't know, but. You got to get the ball down the field against that team because that at any time you give the ball back to Seattle, they can do something crazy and, score points very quickly. That's the thing. The Giants don't score fast.
No. These drives and they inch downfield and you're like, oh, shit, here we go again.
Another 3rd and 4.
I know how this movie ends,
Well, but that's it. But they convert those 3rd downs and they get to the 20-yard line and peter out. I mean, it's like, when Colonel Coughlin called it the green zone, right? They would punch it in because they had a big running back and they had a small running back. Now they have 2 little guys.
Yeah, Gallman. I like Gallman a lot, but he's not. He shouldn't be he's not supposed to be the every down guy.
I agree, but I think he's filled the role. I mean, I think he's done a good job of trying to pick up where Barkley left off. Obviously, he's not the kind of playmaker that Saquon is. But, if Dion Lewis can get in there and mix it up, they also need to mix up the play calls a little bit too.
But if the offensive line could do a thing, then these guys just they can run the football. That's as simple as that.
And I mean, I don't know how far downfield Colt McCoy can throw the ball, but I mean
2 yards.
Employ the Tom Brady offense where you just throw the ball up in the air and then hope for a pass interference.
That's it. It's true. So, we'll get back at the end of the show at Locks of the Week and any other firm predictions. It's a good way to usually close out. But I'll say this as a Giants fan. I feel like we have a promising coach and some pieces. When you look across the other side of the stadium, you look at the Jets, Adam Gase is still only employed because they're tanking. That's the end of it. Like this fucking guy, they're asking about who's calling plays, and the media is like, you're calling the plays. We see it. And he's like, no, I'm not. And then he's like, well, except that 3rd down in the second half. I was calling some schemes on 3rd downs. And they're like, no, it was more than that. He's like, oh, the 2-minute drill too. We're like, what the fuck is your problem?
I got to tell you, though, like, I think the guy that's been vindicated or the guy that I feel the best out of this situation is Todd Bowles. right? Because that guy got a really shit deal
Yeah.
when he was in New York, and now as a defensive coordinator in Tampa. And granted, Tampa reloaded, and he has JPP, and he's got things to play with.
Yeah.
But I mean, JPP has 8 fingers, and he had a pick 6 2 weeks ago.
I couldn't believe I saw the pick 6, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
So I mean, Todd Bowles must go to bed every night with a cigar in his mouth, like looking at a picture of Adam Gase's eyes and laughing his ass off.
Yeah,
that guy.
And Sam Darnold, the only reason why they're playing this guy, and I don't even think he's healthy, is because they're obviously trying to pump a trade value here, right? Like that has to be it.
Well, and you know where he's going to end up? Right here in fucking New England.
Oh, he's shot. He's meant to be shot.
Belichick's going to be like, I can take this kid with a USC pedigree and take him to the show.
Do you think he can? Do you think he has a chance at turning it around somewhere, or is he going to be like Josh Rosen, who's left for dead?
I think Darnold is a better quarterback than Rosen is, and I think he's more versatile. I think if you sent him, I mean, who's going to let's look at okay, so let's take a minute here and think about the off season coming up. If the season is completed, who needs a quarterback?
Maybe
the Patriots, the Broncos.
Yeah.
When it gets pretty thin after
maybe
that.
The Cowboys.
I mean, Dak will be back.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
And they're Dr.
Is Brady gonna come back for a second year at this? Yeah, he's right.
I mean, sure.
2 year. It's a 2 year deal, right?
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Is if Brady, I think the Tampa Bay ownership wants to stick with Bruce Arians, and they also have a gimmick on their hands with Tom Brady, right?
Yeah.
So there's clearly, and the Athletic did a great article yesterday about it, like the friction between the two of them. And Brady's going to be 43, 44 fucking years old next year.
The Eagles might be looking for someone because you can't say Hurts can be a number one next year, and Wentz is going to be gone.
So this is my problem with Peterson. Also, is that he goes on the record and he states about how he's going to get Jalen some snaps. And they were the Monday night or the Sunday night game, the Eagles, right?
He played one snap, right?
So it was his first snap of the season out of 25, 30, where he was not on the field with Carson Wentz. Okay. So Wentz was on the bench and everybody was like, "Oh shit!" And then it was like, "Oh, Wentz came out." Hurts comes in, throws a 6-yard reception, and he gets pulled out of the game.
Cock tease.
The Vikings tried to do this shit with Cordarrelle Patterson, and it wasn't ever going to be like a quarter. Like Patterson was never competing for the quarterback job, but at this over Teddy Bridgewater, but over this whole weird dynamic is the guy he's a poor Jalen Hurts, right? He gets replaced in a fucking national title game where he then gets Tua goes out there and smokes it and fucking wins the national title. Hurts is on the bench, and now he's sitting here getting overshadowed by a ginger who can't throw the ball 15 yards and has no protection.
I think next year for the Eagles, they probably just have a quarterback competition between Wentz and Hurts with a new coach.
But
it's probably what happens.
So think about it, though. For the rest of the, how many teams right now? Cleveland, Cincinnati, Arizona, Houston, Kansas City, like all of those Bible Belt teams all have quarterbacks that are franchise players. So they're really, where is the market for Sam Darnold outside of East Rutherford? It is in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
And the Jets are going to have to trade him there because no one else is going to want him.
I guess depending on what Alex Smith does, I guess he could be, a football team quarterback.
Yeah, the Redskins are going to need a quarterback.
Is Bridgewater the quarterback going forward in Carolina? I don't know that. I mean, how much time does Matt Ryan have left? So I mean, think about that. Like Matt Ryan, Atlanta was in the Super Bowl 3 years ago.
Now they're
and I almost forget that they're in the NFL.
They'll probably try to draft for one. You would think
the Falcons.
Yeah, give Ryan a year or two. Give the new guy understudy a year or two.
It depends on where they are in the draft, too, right? Yeah. I mean, right now the Jets are going to have the number 1 pick. Is that correct? They're 0-11.
Yeah,
going to be close.
How are they going to screw that up?
How do you pass on Kelly Lawrence in that?
You
spot?
can't. You can't. But
which is
it's
exactly.
a shame.
But it's the same thing that happened with the Giants, and like when they had Saquon, it was like, how do you not like? He was the most dynamic, full, whatever 5-tool player in the draft, right? And you had to take him.
Yep.
And I will never, you cannot. There's nothing wrong with taking a guy like that, in the top 3 picks. And
it obviously was the right call.
But so, like we were just talking about, how many teams that you have right now that have franchise quarterbacks, right? Is Kelly Lawrence going to be a franchise quarterback? I don't know.
There's a lot of good young quarterbacks in the league right now, but the thing is, we thought how many pan out 5 years from now? We thought Carson Wentz was the next big thing, and look now, possibly the same issue with Allen in Buffalo. So are the are this next batch, are the Tuas, are the Herberts, are these guys going to be good 5 years from now? We don't know. We don't.
I think Justin Herbert's the real deal. I mean,
I do too. But
to Tom's point here, I think,
and I think Murray is too. But
Kyler Murray is a franchise quarterback in Arizona. That's
the next freaking Russell Wilson.
Cliff Kingsbury wears Kyler Murray underpants.
First of all, let's does Kyler Murray get to go over to Cliff's Palace anytime he wants to hang out?
It's probably actually Kyler's.
Does Kyler has the deed, and Cliff is now paying rent to Kyler? Is that what's happening?
You know what the funny thing is that house probably costs the same thing as my house.
That fucking you all the taxes. You pay more in taxes for sure.
I also don't live in the desert. But
what I mean at this
people. So
I mean that guy's awesome. He's awesome.
Tom makes a good point though. What about Pittsburgh? So if the Steelers do go on to win the Super Bowl and their fans never fucking shut up about it, like does Ben go out on top and say, "All right, I'm off to Harris. See you later." And then what? So then they need a quarterback. I don't know who's in the pipeline behind him. It sure ain't Cordell Stewart. So we could, and they're not going to have a high draft pick, obviously, if they win the Super Bowl. So Darnold goes to Pittsburgh and then terrorizes the Jets for 10 years. I don't know. But I mean, all these teams you think have these young, like interesting quarterbacks. I mean, the Giants, but like even, what's his face there in, Lamar Jackson. If he can stay healthy, that kid's, like these jobs are all locked up.
I think, and he'll be there, but Lamar is not on that elite level. I don't see the all-around game out of Lamar.
I mean, that's the difference between a number 1 pick, right?
He needs a lot of pieces around him to work. A lot.
Well, I mean, so that's the other thing is that if you get like Larry Fitzgerald is a very good receiver, right? Was it Deshaun? What's the other guy with the hair, right? Hopkins, right? He's in Arizona, right?
Oh, by the way, speaking of receivers, fuck you, Will Fuller. Fuck you and the fucking steroids that you did, you motherfucker.
Just like Robbie Cano.
Okay. Anyway, out of my system. Go ahead.
You know what? I'll fucking inject Robbie Cano again if it fucking keeps him off the Mets roster.
Well, some of us have guys on a fantasy team that were killing it, and now we know why they were killing it.
Yeah,
stupid fuck.
I think if you put a couple young receivers in Arizona, that team, and maybe a little bit improvement in the defensive backs, that team is dangerous. And I mean, Larry Fitzgerald can't play forever. And
isn't he only 76 years old?
He can't be older than Tom Brady. But I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is he's not a generational talent, but I mean, he's a top 10, top 5 wide receiver. Mm-hmm. But I mean, name another receiver that plays for Arizona. I'll wait. Exactly. Right. Chase Edmonds is good, but give him one more receiver like a DeAndre Hopkins. And I mean, look at what DK Metcalf. If DK Metcalf didn't play for the Seahawks, they would not even be in the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, someone's got to catch a football. I mean, Russell will throw it, but someone's got to catch it.
Right. And the thing with Russ now is that, like, first of all, he can't see over. This is a fascinating fact, is that he can't see over his linemen to begin with. And I had one of his former wide receivers tell me that.
It makes it more impressive. It's like, how the fuck does he do this?
But if you watched him against the Eagles the other day, like, he would just step back and like throw the ball somewhere in the dirt. It was like when Eli used to throw the ball towards Plaxico, and somehow he would catch it. Then he did it with Manningham.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
granted, Manningham was about 4 inches shorter than Black.
But you have to, that kind of quarterback has to have the receiver. Like, he's got to.
But he doesn't. But it's different now. I mean, and you watch these guys, and they just fling the ball, and then it's like someone out there will catch it. You know, and there's just so many. These guys. He has one weapon, and it works.
Yeah, I mean, but maybe to the point where teams are catching on, and they've struggled the last 3 or 4 weeks, and they've struggled a good deal. Because what's his second option? What's his third option?
I don't know. Smoke weed.
Yeah, well, Seattle. I think that's.
See, Tom says there's no I in team.
That's right.
But there is a me.
There's a me.
Right. Damn right. If you're thinking about it, let's do this real quick because we're having a hell of a football night here. So real quick,
I love football. I want to talk about football.
But this is what's going on.
Football.
We could talk about all the troubles with starting NHL season, NBA preseason coming up. Right now, football's.
Can we talk about Gary Sanchez's contract extension?
Yeah, no. Football's in the final stretch. And this is what's going on.
Make a basketball connection to that. The Celtics, they signed Gordon Hayward and immediately traded him. So you could.
I thought he signed with Charlotte.
But the Celtics signed him first to guarantee the money. So they had a sign and trade. So I mean, technically, you could do that with Gary. But what is the market for a fucking fat right-handed quarterback catcher?
Well, I'll tell you this. I think there's an issue here.
A year ago, it was Queens.
Actually, to my point, Howie Rose had a good banter going on Twitter today. He's really been great once he joined Twitter. Their point is that baseball has to get their rules down because if they announce that the DH was league-wide, that's like 16 more teams that may be interested in Gary Sanchez as a DH. They have to figure this out because it's causing a lot of problems, not only with teams forming their rosters like the Mets, but teams that have assets they may want to trade players. It's fucking everything up. And anyway, can we get back to?
I want to know why they haven't signed DJ LeMahieu yet.
Can we get back to football real quick? Because I was about to start something.
Hold on. I think the Giants. God, I think the Yankees will sign DJ. I just think they can't let him go. I mean, he's been. All right, go ahead, whatever.
I will say this, and I absolutely want DJ back first option because they're not going to do DJ and Lindor. But I'll say this: Lindor's younger, and he's more.
You always think that you're going to get every fucking player.
No, they're not getting both. That's my point. But if they don't sign DJ, Lindor is quite the option too. Out of this, but we know DJ
have a shortstop.
But no, they don't because Glaber's really a second baseman. But DJ is proven in New York. Not a lot of guys can do it. We know he could do it. We know what he can do. He's going to be good for the next 5 years. I don't see why you can't. What the fucking problem is here?
You could have Amon Rosario for a 10th round draft pick. No problem. We'll even pay his
fuck yourself.
We'll even pay his salary.
I still want to trade you Miguel Andujar for like fucking
we don't want
a bag of balls, okay?
There really is something to
for Thor. I still want to trade you Andujar for Thor.
And Andujar should be wearing a Mets uniform, and Steven Matz should be in a Yankee uniform.
Absolutely, that's absolutely right.
Anyway,
we got smart all of a sudden.
Like Steven Matz gets a 1 year extension here.
All
right. Oh, listen, over under. Steven Matz ERA 5.75. Over under.
Under. Over. No way. Because his buddy from Patchogue Medford High School is coming back, and they're gonna put it. No, he's gonna go to the Pen.
JT Realmuto, where's he end up?
Not Queens,
Washington.
I think I agree.
I think
you're looking at McCann or Yadier.
No, I don't want Molina. Let him go play for Beltran since they worked out that fucking
2 years of Molina and the Yankees. I would sign up for.
I couldn't believe he was still in the league. I thought it was a misprint.
I would sign up.
Wasn't it like 10 of them that caught at one point in the league?
I would sign up for 2 years of Molina with the Yankees if I can get Sanchez out of here.
And not to take anything away from Jose Molina, he was a great backup.
Oh yeah, he was. Jose was awesome. I love that guy.
Does he have a ring for
almost as good as Sal Fasano? Sal Fasano was amazing. Paisan,
Allegedly,
you're Paisan, Matt. Sal Fasano.
allegedly, the Contreras from the Cubs is available.
Jose,
no,
he was
why?
a pitcher.
No,
The Cubs are going to suck for the next 5 years.
Are they cleaning house? Because fucking what's his face there left? Theo.
How long before Theo's announced as the Mets VP?
they're trying to go on another 120-year streak.
You know where Theo would work very well, in my opinion?
Baltimore.
Detroit.
Oh,
Or Baltimore.
He's not. He's gonna
Theo,
own.
Theo FC would not work for Peter Angelos. No way.
No. Theo's gonna buy into an ownership stake with Nashville or Vegas.
Nashville. Where's their
Those
team
are
in
gonna be.
Nashville?
Those are going to be the expansion teams. That's the point. He wants to own. He wants to come back and be involved in the ownership of a new team.
I don't
want him.
I don't particularly like him. I sat across from him one day on an airplane. He deserves it.
Did you spit at him?
No, it was funny. We can go into this story another time, but I mean, I was at O'Hare and I saw this guy on a flight to Detroit to see this motherfucker, and I was like, that guy looks a lot like fucking Theo Epstein. And, probably a guy like him in Chicago, after bringing great joy and hope and all of these great feelings to this city, bringing the Cubs a World Series, probably wants to keep a low profile. He's with his homeboys. They're going to like a concert or something like that. And the flight attendant, as soon as he sits down while people are boarding the plane, goes, "Mr. Epstein, what can I get you to drink?"
And you're like, oh.
And it's like, oh, it is Theo.
So Dan, when you visited me on that trip, was that when it snowed for the hockey game or the ice storms for the baseball game?
I believe that was a hockey game because that was a holiday game, right?
That motherfucking weather. Both times you visited, we had snow or ice.
Well, you lived in Detroit, bro.
You would think that
I lived
Theo
in Michigan.
Epstein,
I did not live in Detroit.
You would think that Theo Epstein has the scratch to get a G5 for his buddies to go to a fucking concert.
This Chicago to Detroit. It's like flying from Salt Lake to to the casino.
Yeah, but still.
What do I know? It's a holiday trip. Maybe his wife booked it for him. I don't
know. You never visited me in Michigan, Mr. Soriano, did you?
Yes, I did.
This is not a therapy session. This is a sports talk show.
Wait, you know what? I don't need any of that shit right now. You're not my wife.
Come on, Dr. Melfi. Dr. Melfi.
We had lunch in the airport, asshole.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a nice airport.
It is. It's a really
my
really
daughter
nice
loves the
airport.
train. She likes to ride the train.
It's a hell of an airport for a middle of the country.
And it's isn't it the only it's the only airport with a hotel that has its own TSA checkpoint.
Oh, it's awesome. It's really awesome. The West
TW has its own checkpoint.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
apparently the best steakhouse in the state of Michigan.
I will tell you, there is a fantastic bar in the O'Hare Hilton. If you, for those of you,
I love Chicago. We've talked about Chicago. We've talked about Chicago on this show before. I love Chicago.
You should have been in Chicago for the Giants' loss this year.
We will need to do. I think we could all agree that should probably be. I don't know what sport first, but I think Chicago should probably be high on our list of priorities once we can do this again.
And we're coming up on the holidays where we always went on our hockey trip, and this year is just
we're a year since we're over a year since Nashville.
2 years.
2 years Nashville, but we're almost up to last year's New York Rangers Sabres game, which was February. So it seems like that's been 5 years ago.
Are we coming up on 2 years since the Knights game? That was right after the Winter Classic.
I think that's 3 years.
Yeah,
I have zero memory.
You don't remember any of it.
So
I have very vivid memories of that game and after the game.
We don't publicize that game.
It was fantastic.
What was your point about football, Jason?
I have no idea. I was going to ask you. I know. Okay, so there's some divisions that are really tight. So let's go on record here. NFC. No, let's save it. So NFC South. New Orleans is 9-2. Tampa 7-5. Do we agree that New Orleans win that division?
Yes.
Yeah, that's even without Breeze with his 17 cracked ribs. Right?
I told Taysom Hill is
They've won 8 in a row. I mean, they're very good. Green Bay is 8-3. They're going to win the North. Minnesota is 5-6. They've gotten better.
Oh,
Seattle,
there's another spot for Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
I don't know how long Cousins is signed for in Minnesota.
Like 12 years. Well, Chicago.
You like that?
Chicago needs a quarterback really bad.
They've got a Super Bowl winning quarterback there.
And they're probably they have to be long-term invested in Trubisky, right?
Well, I mean, no, because he sucks.
But they didn't know that when they signed him. Joe Flacco plays for the Jets.
You can't keep him. You can't keep him as the number one.
Wasn't Trubisky in the same draft?
He's terrible.
Do a straight face. Sorry.
I mean, and Detroit. Yes, and they drafted. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. And Detroit's going to possibly trade Stafford. They're 4-7.
He's got no value.
He's more value than Darnold. He's actually done things.
Oh,
what?
Stafford. He's
one of getting Matt Patricia fired.
So now that I look, the Niners need a quarterback. They're 5-6. Garoppolo's trash. Maybe he goes back to the Patriots, and they can fix him, and the Darnold goes to San Fran. How about that?
I mean, it's in the realm of possibility, and you know that if depending on how Tampa ends up this season, and if they do finish better than the Patriots, you can bet Bill wants to stay around and bring Garoppolo back and try to go for it. Just go all in.
That would be wild. So the NFC West, Seattle's 8-3, LA is 7-4, and the Cardinals are 6-5. Who wins that division?
I mean, talk about a boring team. Fuck, LA is so boring. There is nothing exciting about that team except Aaron Donald.
Seattle wins that division still?
Well, let's have this conversation after Sunday.
Yeah.
If the Giants beat them, they will not win the division.
Arizona's lost 2 in a row, but
here's the secret: the Giants are going to beat them.
The AFC East, Buffalo's 8-3, Miami's 7-4. Who wins that?
Buffalo.
I'm going to say Miami. I'm all aboard the Tua train. Kansas City wins the West. Pittsburgh wins the North, but Cleveland's gonna. Do you think Cleveland gets in on a wild card here at 8-3? Right now, they would.
Yeah.
Ain't that something? That'll be wild to see them in the playoffs. My goodness. Tennessee's 8-3, and he's 7-4 in the South. What do you think?
Tennessee.
Yeah, I can't believe Phillip Rivers is doing as well as he has this year for Indy.
The Indy defense is amazing.
That's really it. You're right. I mean, I have them in fantasy. They put up the numbers they put up for defense is ridiculous.
Yeah, they're so good. And the thing is that's going to be those two teams are very parallel, right? And I mean, it goes back to our Nashville trip. And I think this year Tennessee just has the pieces. They have Henry is at the top of his game.
Mm-hmm. So that leaves the NFC East. The Giants are 4-7. The Washington football team is 4-7. The Eagles are 3-7-1, and the Dallas Cowboys are 3-8. What say you?
I say the Giants.
They lose this weekend, so they're what? They're 3-8 after this weekend. And
the Giants, if the Giants lose, they'll be 4-8.
Okay, if the Giants beat Arizona in 2 weeks, they win the division. Because I don't think everybody. I think the other 3 teams in the division have lost to Arizona.
Well, so also this
week,
and
then the rest of their schedule is not easy. I don't think.
If you go back to our pick show from the beginning of the year, I said the Giants would be 9-7.
They're not going to win 9 games.
No, they win 6. That'd be amazing. Just so you know, this week, if the Giants lose,
we want to make it interesting.
No,
the rest of the division has a rough week. Washington's playing Pittsburgh, Dallas is playing Baltimore, and the Eagles are playing the Packers. So I think everyone's taking a big L this week.
All right, so let's look at the Giants' remaining schedule. They play.
If the Giants win this week,
if they win this week, they win the division. All right, if they can show us something and beat Seattle in their own dojo, I will be with Colt McCoy.
None of these other teams are winning this week. There's just not a chance.
Look, hold on.
God damn, they took the money line down.
Here's the remainder of the Giants' schedule. They play the Seahawks away. They have the Cardinals at home. They have the Browns at home. They have the Ravens in Baltimore, and then they finish the season with the Cowboys, which could be a completely irrelevant game.
Well, I think it's going to be very relevant.
Maybe it will be. So, I mean, I think the Giants could beat the Ravens without Lamar, and God only knows where we're going to be at this rate. The Browns are going to be tough, and that game was on the schedule not only because they're playing that division, but because they wanted the OBJ set up.
ODB.
Wu-Tang for the children. But, they're doing it. Now that Njoku is back, that team is playing very well, and nobody seems to give a fuck. Why? Because they play.
Jesus.
Right.
I think here's my question. Can the Giants get 3 more wins? They need 3. I think they need 3. I think whoever wins needs 3 more wins. I think so. That's not a good bet. It's not.
I wouldn't take that bet.
No. Last time I drank Mike, I'm not going to say it on.
I vomited it all over the fucking downstairs of the house.
It smells
Fletcher
like
Court.
Windex.
It's the holiday.
I had like a 6-pack of Mike's, and Matt, you're the only one who knows this house, but I fucking puked all over that downstairs tile.
Never mix Mike's and Sam Adams. That's all I'm going to say.
Jason, how hard is it for you to get to a toilet?
I don't know what happened there.
I did it after Whataburger.
I was like 19. Cut the shit. You feel long.
I passed
How
out.
long ago? That was like 30 years ago.
I passed out at a fucking Whataburger.
Speaking of 30 years, I was watching Home Alone before. Anyway, 30 years. 30 fucking years since the Wet Bandits.
My 6-year-old Andrew loves Home Alone.
Who doesn't
like
love
that.
it? It's
That
a
kid
classic.
is way better in Succession.
Wrong kid, though. It's his brother.
So 3 more wins. I want to say yes.
I think the Giants can beat Arizona if the defense shows up and they put points on the board. I don't know about the Browns. They can beat the Cowboys, obviously. And the Ravens, it just depends on where they are in the COVID situation.
Now I want to look at Washington and Philly's schedule. So Washington has San Fran, Seattle, Carolina, and Philly. Philly and Washington's going to – that's scary. That last week game, that's bad news there because someone's got to win it.
But the Giants are playing the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So it's almost set up to the fact that the Giants and the Redskins would have the same record.
Yeah.
And the Giants hold the tiebreaker.
I just think
Danny Dimes owns the Redskins.
Yeah, Washington can beat San Fran and Carolina. That scares me.
I think the Giants can beat Baltimore and can beat Arizona, especially if Jones is back.
Oh, and Philly has Green Bay, New Orleans, Arizona, Dallas, and then Washington.
And I think
Philly's not. I think Philly's done.
The Philly is done. Can we jump back to the Giants for a second? I think what really is the bigger kick in the balls with Jones going out is the fact that they were coalescing behind him in the Cincinnati game on Sunday. Like, was this going to be the game where he emerged as the team leader with Saquon on the bench and blah, 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 whatever? Like, they were angling in that direction. They had scored on the previous drive, and then he comes out and fucking whatever happens with his hamstring, right? So I bench him this week, take the L on the fucking Seahawks, and then go win the next 3 games.
Yep.
That's it. Beat Arizona, beat Baltimore, and beat Cleveland.
We're also assuming that he doesn't play this weekend, which is also possible he does play.
I wouldn't play him, though. Why?
No, I wouldn't play him.
You would or would not?
I would not.
Because they put him back in the game on Sunday, and he tried to drop back, and he couldn't push off his back foot.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't.
Matt, can you get closer to the camera?
I don't know why I'm in this mode. Honestly, we should be that way.
Oh, that's better.
I don't know why I had it on the other setting. Sorry.
You're like
everyone
entire hour.
Everyone saw the nose hairs for like an hour.
I got my nose waxed today, so you're not seeing any of my fucking.
Is that all you got waxed?
Yes.
We don't need the details.
I mean, you could be honest with us. It's okay.
Do we need a segue? Can we talk about how fire the new fucking reverse retro jerseys are for the Rangers?
So I love Lady Liberty. I thought that I thought the originals are still better.
No, they weren't. No way.
The original Lady Liberties were better.
The red and the gray.
I like the red sleeves. I'm still gonna get one. Don't get me wrong. I'm waiting for a bigger selection.
You're waiting.
No. I wanted to authentic.
After Christmas, when the price goes down.
Here's what kills me with the hockey jerseys. Back in the day, like the starter, the CCM, all the replicas are really good. The Fanatics replicas are trash. So I want the $280 authentic, but I wanted Adam Fox, and you can't get one yet. So,
what? I'm waiting for them to name a captain.
It's either Kreider or Zibanejad. So
right, but
Oxford, Massachusetts own.
It's probably Kreider because Zibanejad has 2 years left in his contract, and I just don't know how that's going to play out. And Kreider has like 6.
So you give it to the guy you want to keep around.
You know,
diversity.
Or they wait for one of these young guys to show what he's got, and they either give it to Lafreniere or Kakko.
No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to give it to.
No way.
They're not going to give it to fucking guy named Cock.
Yeah, and I mean, Kreider does deserve it because I mean he's been like they called like we were saying he didn't even graduate from college because they needed him for the playoffs.
I know. Remember that when he came up
in 2014.
That was oh my god when he freaking played his first game. It was the playoffs. That was amazing. So about hockey, real quick. Hell of a football show tonight, gentlemen. By the way, hell of a football show. That's a lot of fun.
I just want to watch football like all weekend.
I want to say this about hockey because now we're having a similar issue to what we had in baseball.
But can we just say for 1 second, football is way more entertaining when the Giants are actually.
Oh my god!
Competitive.
I'm hyped now. I was so excited on Sunday that I could watch that game on the local channel here without having to have issues. I really hope it's the 4:00 game here this Sunday.
Yeah. The problem.
Well, I could get because there's no Ravens or Washington game Sunday.
Right, and the Patriots are on 4. Of course, the one weekend that the Giants are on at 4:00, the Patriots are on. At 4:00.
Fuck! You're gonna have to go to the. Are you allowed? Is there a place open?
No, well, yes, but I'm not going there. And I've listed on XM, but it's like
my god, it's 3 years behind.
10 minutes behind.
It's
when you guys were. I was like, I can't even look at. I was sitting in my backyard with my solo stove, nice and toasty.
I love it.
And you guys are texting me nonstop about the game being over, and I'm like, dude, there's like 3 minutes left. You're like, no.
Sorry, I didn't know that's what you were doing.
But I would rather sit in my backyard and listen to the sweet, dulcet tones of Bob Papa and Carl Banks than listen to some bullshit on Red Zone.
They are so good.
The only good thing about a 4:00 game is that Red Zone basically shows the whole game.
Is the TV still set up outside?
Well, I bring it in and out, so it's sitting in my dining room right now, but it will be outside if I need it to be. It's supposed to rain here all weekend. But I also very agile and remote. Was able to put the TV on my kitchen counter and watch the Lions game and watch the Houston Texans cover while I was making my turkey on Thanksgiving Day. It was a beautiful thing. I felt like a great American.
Yeah. And you said that the one that I wanted to put in my bathroom was too big. Just saying.
Who did?
Yeah, the one I showed you that the guy had the 55-inch in the bathroom. You're like, oh, that's too big.
Well, I'll tell you, my kitchen's not big, right? It's over here. But when you're that close to it, you're pretty close. I mean, granted, I wasn't sitting taking a dump, but I was drinking beer and cooking a turkey. But it is close.
That's amazing.
And I mean, the TV, this is what really irritated me about that TV is I bought it for like $200 something, and then it was like the Walmart fucking Black Friday deal of the year, and it was like $100 less than what I paid for it.
I will say the best thing about streaming and having cut the cord a year ago is not having a TV in every room if I want to watch something, I'm going to like fucking get ready for work. I just throw it on the iPad.
Oh, it's
goes in the
great. Or
bathroom,
my
goes in.
laptop.
It's amazing.
The YouTube
Yeah.
TV, and that's all your credit, Matt. Like I saw it at your house. I was like, this is what I want. This is what I've been looking for. It's all the sports channels. And honestly, it has too much other channels for me. But I'm saving so much by not having DirecTV. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I like sometimes like if I'm out and something's going on and I don't want to miss it, I just throw it on my phone even.
Perfect.
It's a
really
really
great.
good point. Because I was talking to my neighbor the other day when the Patriots were on, and he was driving, so I don't know where he was going, but he's like, "Oh, I'm taping the game." Have you ever taped a fucking football game?
I know people that do that. I don't understand.
How could you do that when you have a phone and you could just check the whole
It's
thing?
2020. Like, how do you not?
I mean, this has got cloud DVR with like no limit on the storage, so I may do that in addition. Like if I want to go back, like if the Rangers were in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, I'd fucking record it.
No, I mean instead of watching it though.
Oh, but not instead of. Fuck no.
Like, who does that?
Take me off for a second. I gotta close the door over here.
Oh, not to mention. Well, I don't even know how to remove. Okay. So I have VHS of the Stanley Cup, but like, how do you watch? I don't know. You can't. I can. How do I do with that?
Go get it converted.
I think I have to. I have them all in a box. I have the banner raising. I have the Stanley Cup. I got everything.
So
the parade. I got the parade.
I had some VHSs of like family stuff, like really important stuff. And there's a guy by my office, like a photographer, and he put them on thumb drives for me. He turned them into MP4s.
Wow.
And you just put them on a thumb. Not a thumb drive, the one that looks like a fucking SIM card.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
We
got any start bench cut?
I don't have any start bench cut. I have I don't know. We'll
we have a draft pick.
How long is it for him to close his door? I'm trying to look to see if I don't really have any. I have no start bench cut or anything set up and I got lazy. I don't know. Let's see here. There he goes. All right, he's back. So the thought I had with hockey, real quick. This is very familiar to what baseball was going through, where they had an agreement. The owners now are like, "Oh no, there's no fans still. We want more. We want more concessions from you, even though we already signed a new CBA and an agreement before the playoffs started. Oh no, we want more." So the players are mad. So here we go again with billionaires versus millionaires. However, if I had to pick a side, I'm on team player. The owners are pulling a squeeze deal here and pulling back on an agreement they already had. That must smell really good.
Oh, I forgot.
It must smell
Just
really
right
good.
out of the bottle. Right out of the bottle.
Just yeah. That must be fantastic.
Oh no, I don't mind.
But we've seen this game before. In my mind, I think the owners have a specific amount of games that they want to play with limited or no fans and are not willing to go. And that's what it comes down to. I think we're going to see quite an abbreviated hockey season this year. I don't think we're starting to February. Well, I don't see how you're starting January 1st. It's already the second week of December almost. And you need to start training camp. I think February, 45 to 48 games.
Wait till the NBA comes back. Then the pressure will be really on.
The NBA's starting preseason like next week, right?
They announced the Christmas schedule.
Yeah,
already.
Christmas startup. Preseason next week.
City jerseys are out.
By the way, how many jerseys does an NBA team have? Like 7?
It's marketing.
The Nets just put another one out. I don't know what it looks like.
You would
Paint
think
splatter.
you would understand marketing.
Hey, listen. I have a hard time rooting for any team other than the New York team. But I gotta tell you, the fucking Utah Jazz, sharp baby.
The jersey, yeah, they are. Is the team any good?
Yeah, they say that they're going to compete for the division. I don't follow that goddamn shit.
Well, I mean, since they were responsible for the end of sports as we know it.
That's a good point. I
And they
still
try to
remember. Oh
kill
my
Michael-
god!
I'm
They also
standing
try to
in
kill Michael Jordan. So
standing in the bar in Washington, D.C. I'm like, where are all those people going? And they're like, oh, the Mormons are leaving the stadium because of the coronavirus. I was like, uh-oh.
and yet they
That
still don't
night,
believe it.
that was the worst night of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next day, it all came to a fucking halt.
Yeah, and I was on an airplane. Luckily, you didn't get the Rona.
They said today, I saw something on Twitter a couple hours ago, like, when was the last movie you saw in a theater? That might be the last movie you've seen in a theater for God knows when. The
Ever?
funny thing was, it was Richard Jewell the last week in December, and that's the first movie I saw in a theater since, like, Wolf of Wall Street with you, Matt.
Did you go with Danny?
Because I don't go. No. And then that night, I came down with symptoms that ended up being what I thought was corona, where I was sick New Year's week, and then I had a cough for like 3 months, and you witnessed that cough in New York in February.
And stayed in the same room as you.
I was still coughing, but that's the weird, not funny, but the weird part of it.
When I came back from Austin in February, Mrs. Soriano was convinced after COVID became a thing. That's what she had.
Yep. I had everyone at work was sick in January, and nobody was sick in March, April, May, June, July. So
coming back from
it hit a lot earlier.
Hippie
yeah.
AIDS.
You're lucky that's all you caught.
Can we get Danny on the show to read some pages from the Richard Jewell movie?
I didn't do it.
There's a backpack under the bleachers in the Olympic Park.
Well, the last movie I saw in the theater
But
was
I want to play the federal agent.
Hey, that guy became a sheriff's dispatcher.
Yeah. A great movie.
After almost going to federal prison.
All right. It's a really good movie.
It just goes to show you another example. I'm not going to actually say what I'm about to say on the internet. So,
Jesus Christ.
I actually think the last movie I saw in the theaters was Sully.
Oh wow! I still haven't seen Sully, which is like crazy considering. Right?
It's terrible.
It is.
Is it bad?
It's terrible. I could deal without the theaters. If somebody could figure out a way to replicate movie theater popcorn,
at
home. Other than that,
how about the announcement by Warner Brothers today? Huh?
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, that's what started this conversation.
Yeah. I know. I'm getting to the point. Like, let's go. I too love movie butter popcorn. But the fact that you're going to release every movie you made onto fucking and boon for HBO, big money right there.
Yeah.
By the way, The Flight Attendant,
new episode tonight.
I know, two more.
Two more?
That's what they said.
What's that on?
HBO Max.
Oh, okay.
It's an app, Jason.
I know what HBO is.
If you get the HBO, it comes for free.
I mean, in the days of Soprano,
you can get it as a
6 feet under, and Oz, and all those great shows, I watched HBO all the time.
Did you watch Oz?
Kaylee,
Oz was amazing.
Cuoco. Yeah, and Rosie, what's left of Rosie
Perez? Yeah, what's left of her? But I mean,
she's on that show.
Yeah,
she goes on Jeopardy at the end.
Do you mute every time she talks? Do you hit mute?
Billy, the Stookie brothers are gonna get us.
I didn't know she was. I didn't know she was still alive.
Alex, what is a quince?
Could you imagine a room where Rosie Perez is locked in a room with like Sarah Silverman? They both have to talk.
No. But she's pretty good on the show. The plot is developing.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine that room if there was a gun that I could use on myself.
Thumbs up on The Flight Attendant, thumbs down on The Undoing.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Not great.
How is the corporation, the one that looks like it's just a knockoff of
Billions?
Yeah, basically.
It's like the again, things I can't say on the internet. It's like the affirmative action Billions.
So wait,
I haven't seen it. I wanted to watch. What was it? Black Tuesday, Black
Friday.
What was the one with Don Cheadle?
Tonchito.
Black Friday.
What about the 78? Was it the whatever? I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Oh,
Anyway,
Black Monday.
Black Monday. Thank you.
That was on
what the-
Showtime.
What the fuck happens on a non-football Thursday? That's my problem.
Is
The
there
flight
Mac?
attendant.
It's
So what channel? What
college
channel is that on?
You have to
What channel?
download.
What time is it on?
If
I
you
started my Christmas shopping.
Jason, you're like it's like talking to my fucking elderly parents. You
Hey.
download the fucking app and you could watch it on demand.
Why can't you just
And remember,
fucking watch it on a normal channel?
Thomas, only 2 of the 3 people on the show celebrate Christmas.
And the other one celebrates the crucifixion.
Just putting that out there. I've started my shop. Thank God for the internet.
Yes. Just a few clicks and then it gets delivered to your office and then you ask the office manager, "Hey, you mind wrapping these for me?" It's not quite Don Draper and secretary where you're like, "Get Sally some Beatles 45s and a drum set for Bobby."
Come on, Megan.
But hey, listen.
Great.
Wraps better
You
than
know,
I
that
do.
was a great reco. Thank you. This this quarantine would not have been the same without Mad Men. So that goes to show you, man. You know, I used to travel all the time and I would rip off TV shows. And that was the first TV show, other than The Sopranos, that I watched, and Entourage, that I watched start to finish, binging without traveling.
I will say that if I could figure out a way to be Roger Sterling, I would. I don't even need to be rich. I would grow the hair white, everything.
And they'll do the little dance, you know. It's like, what do women want? Who cares?
Smoke all I want.
See, I feel like if we're gonna do a Mad Men dissection, I feel like a great spinoff would have been about, like, what was it? Sterling's Gold. If they had done something like that, it was the same thing with Entourage, with Ari. If they had done a spinoff, it would have been fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
But they chose, AMC chose to go with Better Call Saul instead.
Yeah. Well,
but Mad Men, I mean, I can't even believe that was this. Like, we're still in the same year that I watched all of Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan on Amazon. I watched all of fucking Mad Men, and now here we are. And it's not even the end of the year yet. I don't watch a lot of TV unless it's sports.
if something's good, I'll fucking just not like I won't pull away from it.
And here's the thing: if it's good, you don't pull out, right? So,
Yeah,
right. The thing is like I started watching Sneaky Pete after Jack Ryan when I was traveling at the beginning of the year. I have not watched a single episode of Sneaky Pete since quarantine.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't, like, I'm not, like, it was good for the airplane, and it was like, yeah, but
Can't wait
I
for
haven't picked it up.
to come back.
Oh, God. If you give me go find a place on the earth that you can film Succession and bring it to me, because we deserve it.
Fantastic show.
Oh, so good. And they won all those, like, awards at the beginning of the year. And, I mean, even Billions got held up. They have to split the season in half.
Yeah. Both
They can't shoot episodes. They want to shoot in New York. They can't shoot in New York. When was the next time you're going to be able to shoot in New York?
2025.
Yeah.
Yeah.
De Blasio, until he gets out.
Not one more year.
So, Dan, it's that time. I need lock of the week.
You need a lock of the week? Let's see. Let's go to the videotape. The Raiders 8.5 over the Jets.
I was just gonna. That was going to be. You took the words. I'm staring at him like, oh, that's the one.
I don't like the Titans at 5.5 over Cleveland. Miami 11.5. That's too much. The Saints. No. The Texans are all right.
These lines are very aggressive this week.
My favorite or my underdog lock of the week is the Houston Texans at plus 155 money line against the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay.
Lock it up. Lock it up.
I actually think the Saints. I'm seeing 2.5 with the Falcons. I do like that.
Yep, and I like the Cardinals against the Rams 130. The Chiefs 13.5. If you want to take the points over the Broncos, they'll win by 30 points. And the Steelers at 8.5 over the football team.
Yeah.
And the Bills, all right, lock of the week. Lock of the week. That's a toss-up right now between the Bills with 1 point over the 49ers. Whew, boy. Or
how are the Niners given one?
Where that game is going to be in Arizona.
They're not even playing right. They're not even playing at home. I don't get it.
I mean, I could take the easy way out and take the Chiefs with the lock of the week at 13.5.
Yeah.
I want to hear what Mr. Soriano has to say first.
I like the Titans giving 5 over the Browns.
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay.
I like that 5.5. I'll take that. That's a touchdown, right? You know?
Yeah.
I had the Dolphins at 11.5 with Tua. I don't know. That Vikings Jaguars game sounds like Chernobyl to me. Just stay away from that. Like, I mean, imagine the Vikings and the Jaguars. God.
I think the Chiefs 2 touchdowns. I mean,
yeah. Look, I'll take lock of the week. We're talking lock of the week. Take the Texans 3.5 over the Colts.
Would you take the money line on that?
Let's see.
Plus 155.
155.
It's a pretty fat line.
Yeah. If you're going to take 3.5, you might as well take the money line. Although if they lose by a field goal, you win. And I just wish the Giants line was not 10 points. If it was lower, if it was 7.5, I would take it.
Yeah. See, I was able to lower the money line, spread to 9.
Well, let's see here. If
9 gave me plus 103, so I bet that.
Hold on. What did you say? 9 points is plus 103. Seattle plus 9.
No, I bet the Giants.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I bet the Giants at. Hold on.
Wait, the Giants plus 9 was plus 109.
Plus 103.
Oh, I can get plus 112.
You get better odds than I do.
Oh, more.
My guy gives me a credit line.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, never mind.
Hey, you want to talk about soccer? We can do soccer.
No, please.
I'm not putting that fucking shit in my parlay.
I've lost enough money to soccer in the last 2 months.
That fucking Crystal Palace fuckers
right.
fuck me good.
My hot tip of the weekend on soccer is Leeds.
No.
Leeds Football Club. Let me check it out now. This is 2 days ago. Let's see where it's at now. Leeds
are they going to lose? Are they going to lose with 2 goals in the last minute because Mark Stahl's playing defense?
Oh, well.
That fucking guy. What the fuck was he doing?
They were playing down a man also.
What was this guy doing? He's on his fucking knees.
We could have it. Crystal Palace is actually favored this weekend just by 30 points. Leeds United is playing Chelsea. They are plus 500. The tie gets you plus 340. Take the tie.
I'll tell you this. It's the first time
You'll
I watched
be kissing my ass on Sunday morning.
Fucking watch a soccer game, and I was actually paying attention.
It was
and then
a great
I was
game
like,
until the last 3 minutes.
Well, and then I was like, what the fuck just happened? And then I started drinking.
Waiting for this show to start. I lost $30 playing online blackjack, so I'm not doing anything other than football this weekend.
Well, this is what I can do. I can take a run up to other half because I can gamble sports in DC. So as I sit there waiting for the curbside service other half, I can place a wager.
What the hell is other half?
It's this wonderful brewery. Wonderful brewery.
It began in the great borough of Brooklyn.
And that's where Dan and I went after that Ranger game in
County.
February, elbow to elbow with people.
Let me tell you,
that all had COVID, I'm sure.
that was February 8th. I have like nightmares about that. I get like anxiety about how close we were to other people.
Dude, we couldn't get more than 2 feet of space anywhere in any direction around us. That place was packed. My worry at the time was the fire code. Little did you know, the real worry at the time was a fucking deadly disease.
Who cares
I wasn't worried about anything because I was drinking beer with you, with my friends. I wasn't worried.
At the time we had no worries, but I'm just saying in retrospect.
You want another flyer? Wolverhampton Wanderers, Liverpool, Sunday afternoon.
Who the fuck are they?
Wolves are getting plus 575. They're playing great soccer right now. They're playing Liverpool, who's at the top of the table. Might be worth a flyer. Worth a flyer.
My kid is getting into expensive Christmas territory, so
you gotta do it.
Tell me about it. Did you buy a Nintendo Switch?
A flyer's not a bad idea.
No, but Barbie's not exactly fucking cheap. Okay.
American Girl's worse, huh?
We're not gonna go down that road. She's got fucking an aunt for that shit.
Is the Army Navy game this weekend?
Let's look at NCAA.
Why is there no money line with the Notre Dame game? Oh, because they're 33.5-point favorites over Syracuse.
Let's see.
Oh no, Tulsa's playing Navy this weekend. I guess Army Navy's next weekend, but it's at West Point this year apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you're not kidding. 33.5 over Syracuse. Didn't they already play Syracuse this year? What I feel like
Syracuse is bad.
I feel like I bet that game already this year. Oh no, that was
Notre Dame's in the ACC this year, right? Or something.
Yeah, they play both independent.
Tom, thanks. Next weekend. Why is Alabama a 29-point favorite over LSU this weekend?
LSU is shitty.
Oh.
Really shitty.
Washington State, USC. I don't like college football.
It's voodoo. Stay away from it.
No, stay away from the goddamn Pac-12. They're so fucked.
I'm just looking through the college football lines here.
How about
Boston College is getting 4 points at Virginia? I would take Virginia all day.
Is this right that Buffalo is 11-point favorites over Ohio?
Did you not see the guy score 8 touchdowns last week?
Oh my God.
No.
Dude, he ran for like fucking 900 yards and got 8 touchdowns. It was nuts.
8.
It was nuts. 8. And he ran for over 400 a game, 300 a game before. Like he has back-to-back games over 300 yards.
Here's a college lock of the week. Indiana at plus 14.
Against who?
Wisconsin.
Ooh.
Plus 450 on the money line.
Money line is off for me.
Mm-hmm. Arkansas 3-point favorites over Missouri. 3-point dogs. I'm sorry. I can't look at these college lines. Get me off of this shit. MLS.
No, stop. Stop.
I can't. NBA. Oh, these are futures. Oh, they're not futures. Oh, they're already Christmas games are already on there. Boxing.
Okay, here's the college football game of the week. I got one. 9-0 BYU against 9-0 Coastal Carolina.
Well, so this is a reschedule because
yes.
Coastal Carolina was supposed to play Liberty this weekend,
and they got scared.
No, Liberty has the Rona, and College Game Day was supposed to be at Liberty.
Yes.
Why?
So, because they're all undefeated. So
it's the first time. I think it's the
substitute
first time both teams have been in the top 25 ever.
Substitute one religious college for the other.
By the way, Dan, neither of those religious.
I know, whatever. You know, we were protecting ourselves, not against others.
BYU given 10. Stay away.
I think Carolina wins that game.
It's unbearable around here because BYU is beating these high school fucking teams.
Yeah.
And now BYU is going to get they wanted the feature. They wanted Coastal Carolina to come and play them, and then they will be embarrassed.
Good.
But let's talk. Well, we want to talk about boxing for a second because we have 3 incredible weekends in a row. 3 big matches.
I want to ask you guys a question after seeing Saturday night's entertainment, and that's what it was, and it was good entertainment. If they did another similar item, the word is now either Holyfield or Buster Douglas. Tyson, $60. Are you in again?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I have never heard of the Triller or whatever the app it was on.
I know.
I could do without
Young Weezy, whoever that was. I don't know.
Smoking blunts on the screen.
Although Snoop Dogg made up for all of it. All of it.
The fight. Look, Tyson brought it. So did Roy Jones.
Tyson could have knocked him out with the.
But Roy Jones is still fast. He's 51 years old, and Tyson at 54 has the double jab and could do it. And he was like, "Fuck it, let's do it again." And he's going to line. The only thing that I'm worried about is that boxing is in sort of a lull right now, right?
Yeah.
And there's confusion amongst people about what the WBO and the WBC and belts and unification and blah, 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 blah. And I went to the fight 2 years ago where Joshua lost his, Anthony Joshua lost his belts to a fucking fat Mexican, right? Because he just got popped with one punch and it was over. Boxing is in trouble, right? They're worried about it. And people are parceling it off in certain ways that people are going to get sentimental about boxing in a way where it becomes a gimmick worse than it is already.
Yes.
Right. And you want to watch Tyson at 54 years old with his man boobs, still got the speed, fighting everybody. Great. I'll pay the money to see it. $50 is not $150, and it's not for the judges. You can fuck the call, right? It doesn't even matter about
you knew that was going to happen.
I will say this though, whatever Triller is, those undercards were fucking awesome.
They were,
and the ones that actually counted.
Poor fucking Nate Robinson.
No, not poor Nate Robinson. He got knocked out by a YouTube star, and when I say he got knocked out, he got
knocked out.
But that YouTube star took it seriously, and he was ready to someone taught him how to fight. He looked like he belonged there. Nate Robinson, I don't know who the fuck taught him how to fight.
Right. Jack, who fought the undercard before them, an actual, that was a comeback fight for him. Because he's 35. He's got, it's going to be these guys that are one last chance maybe at a run at a belt.
I'll tell you this, the presentation was great. The fact they did it in that studio setting with the lighting and the ring.
That was Staples Center. That was on the floor of the Staples Center. And
it was great. It looked awesome.
And but the thing is if you're going to do a fight like that with actual, and they did the 12-ounce gloves, and they wanted both fighters to wear headgear, and they both refused, and they were like, fuck it, whatever. If you get brain damage, you probably already have it anyway. It's not our problem. But it was an exhibition, right? It wasn't for anything. But if you can stack, look, if you're going to put and we're going to talk about the next 3 weekends because the next 3 weekends are huge. Go out. I'm not a paid endorser. Go out and get the DAZN app right now because you're going to see some fucking dope ass boxing over the next 3 weekends. Put 2 undercards behind or in front of the Gizmo fight, and you'll be all set. I'm not saying belts. I'm not saying unification.
Yep.
Put a fucking knockout fight or a road to the belt fight in front of Tyson and Holyfield or whatever it is.
Right.
You'll put fucking asses in the seat. Buster Douglas. I haven't. When was the last time you heard Buster Douglas's name?
How fucking old is he?
But he can't be older than Mike.
He's younger than Tyson. He was young when he fought Tyson.
Right.
And the thing is Tyson was supposed to go to that fight happened in Tokyo, and Tyson was supposed to knock this young, aggressive, cocky fucking English guy out, and he got his fucking bell wrong.
Buster Douglas is 60 years old.
Bullshit.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Mike Tyson was stoned on Saturday, by the way.
Oh yeah, he said it.
I'm pretty sure everybody was.
Well, I think I was watching it. I think it came through the fucking TV.
Wiz Khalifa smoked a blunt that was the
Who the
same
fuck-
diameter of this can.
Who the fuck was that guy? I mean, the other
Wiz
shit was
Khalifa?
terrible.
He's fucking
Mario Lopez was fucking terrible
He's
as the
Slater?
host. I know.
He was like, what am I doing here? And
You
I
know,
thought,
but
Sugar Ray Leonard, great.
The commentary team was fucking great even before Snoop. They were really good, all of them.
$40.
The guys on the fucking microphone were amazing, and Snoop needs to start broadcasting every fucking sport.
Well,
Imagine
the fact that he came out and then sang and did a pretty decent set and smoked a massive blunt while he was doing it.
Could you imagine Snoop calling like a baseball game?
No, because he would fall asleep because
He did that hockey period a couple years ago that was just fucking gold, right? Just gold. I want it, maybe football, something like Snoop needs to get on weekly for like a game, like a half a game, just
all
one
right.
game a week.
Well, let's hope it happens. 3 weekends. This weekend, you got Errol Spence Jr. fighting Danny Garcia, welterweight bout. It's like a good little, it's like you want to get him wet for the rest of the week, for the rest of the month. And this is because all these fights got pushed back from the rest of the year into December. So this weekend, you got that fight. And then the following weekend, so next weekend, you've got the big heavyweight unification bout between Anthony Joshua, who got his belts back against Andy Ruiz in that bullshit fight in fucking Saudi Arabia, and Pulev. And then the big fight, the one that I'm looking the most forward to, is on the 19th with Canelo against Callum Smith. That is going to be a fucking amazing fight on Saturday.
Is this all on DAZN?
All three fights? Well, no. The weekend this weekend it's on Fox pay-per-view.
Okay.
The Joshua fight and the Canelo Alvarez Callum Smith fight will be on DAZN as well.
Okay.
These are going to be so Joshua's putting his belts on the line. This is it's a mandatory fight, right? Like he's got to fight Pulev. You never know what could happen. I mean, Anthony Joshua. If you were to like go on a video game and build the ultimate boxer, Anthony Joshua is a fucking Adonis. Like, and I'm not afraid to say it. The guy can he's just a machine, right? And somehow he came out of Watford, England, and he won the gold medal for his country in 2012. And here he is 8 years later defending all these belts. But the big fight will be Canelo Alvarez and Callum Smith on Saturday the 19th. Those two men will probably kill each other, and that will be a great pre-Hanukkah, pre-Christmas treat for you on DAZN. Pay the $9 to fucking get the fight. It will be amazing.
So I'm just looking. I'm not familiar. So DAZN is $20 a month, I guess.
I don't know. I pay for it, whatever.
But the question
for this month of December. I saw Callum Smith fight at Madison Square Garden in the Anthony Joshua undercard. That dude is a fucking beast. I think he's a middleweight or a super middleweight or whatever. And Canelo is probably the best pound for pound boxer that we've seen in 30 years, right? These two guys. So Callum Smith is going to come into that fight with a chip on his shoulder. He wanted a fucking shot at Canelo, and he always got it. And this is what we've all been waiting for. Let's fucking go.
So,
and I will put my kids' college fucking fund. Write it down right now on Callum Smith to win that fight. Canelo is a bad man. I get it.
I have a question about this week. So the Spence Garcia fight, right?
Haven't done my research.
Fox pay-per-view, but let me just ask you, just basic. There's an undercard of 2. This fight, they want $75. Is it worth it? That's steep.
No.
That's a lot.
Get DAZN, watch the next 2 fights after that.
Yeah.
I mean, Spence and Garcia, it's going to be a good fight. They're little guys. They're going to be, they're going to beat each other up.
Yeah.
The other thing is that Spence is a minus 500 fucking favorite right now. And Spence is a good fighter, right? But they're little guys. They're like 125, 127, whatever. Go with the Joshua fight, a fucking heavyweight. He's got to defend his belts. It'll put the Andy Ruiz thing in the rear view for him, having lost to him and then beaten him in a fucking fight in Saudi Arabia that was completely rigged for him anyway. And then that Canelo Smith fight is going to be fucking awesome.
I really miss the HBO Friday or Saturday night boxing. That was fun.
I mean, the thing was like when I didn't, like Callum Smith comes out and beats the crap out of this guy.
Are you wearing a fucking Double Dare shirt? That's amazing.
An hour and a half into the show, and when we finally figured it out,
that is fucking outstanding.
You missed the time that I was on Super Sloppy Double Dare,
dude. Amazing, just amazing, absolutely amazing.
Now I want to watch boxing.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a good time. It needs to get back into the mainstream and legitimacy, but it's always going to be nichey. It's always going to be a niche item. But it's hell of a lot of entertainment. I know I was entertained Saturday with all of the fights, the undercard, the exhibition match.
They were so much better than anyone you could have expected.
They were really good. Like that first fight, I forgot who they were. That guy, I was like, he's not going to make it. 3 rounds, he's not going to make it, and they go all 8. Like,
but it was also 8 rounds.
Yeah. You need the 12 rounds of boxing action. Personally,
12
rounds of boxing action. But yeah, so you sold me a DAZN, the zone after this week. So I think I'm on board for those two weekends of fights.
Great fight. They're gonna be Joshua. You got to watch Anthony Joshua fight. It's he's a specimen to be seen, and that Canelo Smith fight's gonna be awesome.
So I think I'm on board for that. Well, so that was a heck of a show. We had a lot of football. So that's what's going on these days. And yeah, I enjoyed this last hour and a half. So Mr. Soriano, anything to leave us with words of wisdom for the weekend?
Just doing a lot of housework this weekend. Nothing exciting. Got some bets going on.
Giants Sunday afternoon will consume the entire weekend. Nothing until then.
Yeah.
I think I'll put a parlay together. Maybe drive up to pick up some goods at the other half and do that.
Maybe.
You should probably give up betting. Is my opinion.
I haven't had a bad year. Like you forget.
You're
I had a bad Thanksgiving weekend, but I've not had a bad year, really, honestly.
Don't bet on it.
No, I'm not touching the fucking Giants. Why would I put money on? Listen. I may be Jewish, but I'm not stupid.
You already told me that my house is going to sell in a week. So
I'll be right back. Are we leaving?
Yeah.
Any parting words, Mr. Sadowski? Diamond Dan?
No. I got nothing but enjoy football this weekend. Take the Bills.
All right, guys, it's been fun. We'll see you next week on the Grand Central Sports Hub. Sayonara.